Thank you, Dr. Mucci. Welcome to the 2022-23 final budget presentation. My name is Dan Borgo, Interim Business Administrator for the Long Hill Township Board of Education. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank our board members and Dr. Mucci, Superintendent of Schools, for all their hard work throughout the school year, and a special thanks to Mr. DeGiorgio, Chairman of the Finance Committee, Mrs. Ruvolo, Mrs. Butler, and Board President, Mrs. Case, who sit on the Finance Committee and are an integral part of the budget process. At this time, we would like to address our enrollment for the 2018-19 school year through projections of the 2022-23 school year. Prior to COVID in the 2021 school year, we were averaging between 850 and 900 students in district. We had a decrease to under 800 students during 2021, the year in which COVID affected us, and we are gradually working our way up to the 830, 829 actual revenue and projected to be somewhat flat for 22-23 with a slight decrease in special education, since this is very early in the year and we are still doing evaluations to determine special education needs, where you will see a difference from 124 in 21-22, projected 117 in 22-23, and these numbers are based on our ASSA report. The budget process. Every school year, district's budget is a thoughtful plan of community value and priorities. Budget planning starts in October and November with the need to project what will occur as of June 30th, 2023. We will use our very best efforts to anticipate at that point in time where the district will finish in 21 months. This year, we held meetings with our admin team and supplied them with budget worksheets and historical data from which they provided us with their proposed budget in January. Additional information is then added and refined by myself, Dr. Mucci, Superintendent of Schools, and the Finance Committee until we arrive at a budget you will see this evening. Tonight, the board will vote on the final budget, which must be submitted to the county by Tuesday, May 10th. 2022-23 operating school budget is $21,849,463, which includes capital projects, which will be discussed a little later. This slide provides a detailed representation of cost as they are submitted to the New Jersey Department of Education. An example of some of the categories will be regular program instruction, which includes salaries of regular education teachers in kindergarten through 8th grade, substitutes, class coverages, regular ed and special ed home instruction, instructional staff travel, supplies, and textbooks. As you could see, that is $5,027,200, which represents approximately 25% of our operating budget. Another category would be special education instruction. Special education instruction includes salaries for LLD, behavioral disabilities, resource room, and preschool. This number also includes home instruction and related supplies and textbooks for those identified categories. So as you can see, all the categories in our spending plan are clearly identified into a specific cost center. In the budget process, once expenditures are determined, it is time to turn to the revenues, or how we will be able to fund those expenditures. In every budget, revenues must match expenditures. 21,849,463 of anticipated revenue with 21,849,463 of anticipated expenditures. Revenues, the source of revenue in any school, are very, very limited. The local tax levy is the primary source of funding in the Long Hill Township. This revenue represents approximately 81% of the operating budget, which is represented in orange. This year, state aid, represented by the green slice of pie, comprises 5.1% of the district's revenue, up from 4.6% last year. Following the governor's budget address, we were awarded an extra $165,094 in state aid over last year. Another source of revenue is federal aid of $317,601, which includes Title I and IDEA monies, which fund federal initiatives for improving basic programs, supporting the development of teachers and principals, supporting English language learners, and providing funding towards special education support services. Another revenue, fund balance of $336,361, is an amount derived from excess surplus generated in prior years. This means some combination of cost savings or unexpended additional revenues from prior years that we use as a figure to balance our budget. While we always hope to finish a year with excess surplus, it is not reasonable to believe we can generate this amount each and every year. Therefore, this is done on a year-by-year basis, determined by how much excess surplus we generated in prior school years. Operating expenses. In this pie chart, which is based on our 21-22 estimated expenditures, you will see that salaries make up 54% of all dollars spent out of 100% of our operating expense. In addition to our salaries, we have employee benefits, which are an additional 18%. So salaries and employee benefits make up approximately 72% of our operating budget of our annual school budget. In addition to those two major expenditures, we have special education tuition, which makes up 5%, transportation of our regular ed and special ed students, which make up 7% of our budget, and the maintenance and operation of facilities to maintain a safe environment for all students make up 10%, which equates to 94% of our operating budgets fall into those 5 categories, which leaves 6% for discretionary expenditures in the 22-23 annual school budget. Capital outlay expenditures. The district is bidding out or awarding state contracts for 4 capital projects, the funds for which will be taken out of our capital reserve account and will have no impact on the tax levy. The capital reserve account is where money is set aside specifically to support the district's long-range facility plan. This year's capital outlay projects will be the repaving of the Millington parking lot, and upgrade replacement to the Millington fire alarm system, the replacement of district-wide storage sheds at some of our schools, and renovation of staff bathrooms in both Central and Millington. This $1 million of expenditures will be from our capital reserve and will have no impact on the tax levy. We are hoping to award these projects at the meeting or a resolution that will appear later on our agenda. So where does that put us financially? The district was not entitled to any adjustments or waivers in this budget and has no banked cap from prior years. The 2% tax levy increase over the 21-22 budget is approximately $348,000, which represents a 2% tax levy increase. So what is our tax impact on a home assessed value of $560,327? And that tax increase for the school year will be $80.08. That represents a tax levy gross increase of $263,000. We will now look at a graph that provides a historical look at our tax levy over the past 15 years. As you could see, the graph span would go from a 6.42 increase to a minus 0.23 decrease. I have highlighted a green area at the 2% range, and we would like to see a nice subtle wave in that green area for our budgets in future years. This can only be done is if we did not have a large increase in population or had major capital expenditures that would skew this wave between 1.75 and 2.25. As you could see in our 15-year graph, we have some what I refer to as tax spikes, which you will see an increase from 2% in 1 year, going up to 5.7%, going back down to 2%, and you have a lot of change over the course of time, which would have large increases with no increases with 2% increases. So we would like to see that subtle increase moving forward right up around the 2% increase. If any community member, teacher, Board of Education member would like to discuss the budget, please feel free to email me at dborgo, D-B-O-R-G-O, @longhill.org, and I will respond to your email promptly. Thank you for your continued support in the education for our children. We are looking forward to many improvements in the district and a very healthy and prosperous school year. Thank you.